Hey guys, it's Kells here today. I'm back at it again with another video. Um, just in case, you guys have nothing to do on Friday, you guys know I go live every Friday, or at least I try to. I know tonight is a super, super busy night because one, Black Panther is in theaters, so I know everybody is probably going to be out trying to watch Black Panther. But I am watching it tomorrow. So instead of going out to Black Panther tonight, I figured I'd jump on live with you guys as promised every Friday and just kind of chat with you guys a little bit about how to be brave in life and love. Hey, Miss Wall Street, how are you? Oh, do you have your mug? So, as you guys know, whenever you come in, announce yourself in the comments, please. Go ahead and announce yourself. Let me know where you're watching from, who you are, and what you're sipping on. Tonight, I'm in a little bit of a somber mood tonight, just because a lot of you guys may or may not know I'm actually from South Florida. So all of this shooting and school shooting that happened essentially happened right in my backyard. Now I don't live in South Florida now, but that's where I'm from. So hey, Seattle's in the building. So let me know where you're from, what you're sipping on. If you got your It's Kells Collective mug, then clink, 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 clink. Cheers to you. Tonight, as you guys can see, I do not have a tea mug, a tea bag. So I'm sipping on a little red wine because with the week we've had, I think it's only fitting that I sip a little something, a little something, something, a little red wine. Okay, Macdelma says she's sipping on some ginger tea. Good girl. Sip on that ginger tea while I sip on my little red wine. Hi, Deborah girl. Hey, guys. Come on in. Come on in. So, just as a reminder, this whole live broadcast started out as the It's Kells Collective, where you guys write into me with your dating drama, your dating tea. You write into itskellscollective at gmail.com. And what I do is I grab the emails from there and I give you candid reactions, thoughts to your emails right here on live. But not only do you get my feedback, my candid little 1 2 1 2 spiel off the dome kind of opinion, but you get the opinions and the thoughts and the guidance of the It's Kells Collective, which is you guys. And we're learning from the collective wisdom of the community through the comments that we do right here on live, and through the comments that you guys put under the video after it goes live. So that's the little background. We started out with 2 7-day challenges where I went live 7 days in a row. And we kind of finished up that challenge. We finished up that challenge. And now we're going into Fridays, sometimes Saturdays, and Sundays going live with topics that relate to anything having to do with dating, love, in this crazy dating world, as you guys know I love to say. Hey, Sante, welcome, girls. Come on in. Come on in. Are y'all not gonna go see Black Panther? I hope y'all got y'all outfits together, because I definitely got my kente outfit together. Okay, we were not joking. You know, black people be so extra. We was not joking. We are going all out for the premiere of Black Panther. I am going tomorrow because I want to make sure that my dollars count on the opening weekend. So if you ain't got your tickets, check the theaters. I'm going and out. You saw it tonight. You just saw it tonight. It was awesomeness. Deborah's saying yes, girl. Don't spill the tea on it. But what did you wear? Y'all need to be on social media posting what you wore and everything like that. People want to see the outfits and stuff. So great movie. Tina says must see. I'm so excited for that. I'm super excited for just the energy and the climate, and everybody being so enthusiastic and engaged in this new movie. I'm geeked to see it. I'm super super geeked to see it. Right. Okay, guys. So I wanted to, first, before I get started on the topic for tonight, do me a favor. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Put your notifications on so you know when I go live. Also, give this video a thumbs up, would you? It helps me get noticed in this big world of YouTube. And it shows me a lot of encouragement, because it's really really hard sometimes and to talk just candidly with you guys. And that's what I do with these videos, just because I want it to be like, I just want it to be fresh and authentic, and I want you guys to really feel me on what I'm talking about. So I don't script it too much. Sometimes I do have my little notes, which I have tonight, but sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're kind of like, and tonight my notes are a little bit, because I wanted to talk about being brave in life and love, but I'm really speaking this to try to encourage myself. And I would really, appreciate if you guys could chime in the comments as much as possible about this topic, because it's not a topic that I feel super well versed on, but I think it's something that we need to talk about given the environment that we're all dealing with right now, particularly with this school shootings and just the political climate that we're in right now and the state of current events is just very, very challenging. And I think it's important for us to encourage each other and to talk about how we become brave, how we stay brave, how it's okay to be shaken sometimes, but how we get our footing again and become this place of being able to face life with as much energy and confidence as we can. And so you guys know that this channel, that's what we talk about, how we elevate our standards, how we elevate everything, how we keep moving towards the affirmative and the positive as much as we can. And I think bravery is one of those topics that is in line with what we talk about on this channel. Yeah? Okay. All right. So let me take a sip. Let me take a little bit of sip. Miss Wall Street, thank you for copying your mug, sis. I so appreciate it. You actually bought our last mug. We are sold out on the Kells Collective mugs. I'm getting together with our new merch and stuff like that. So pretty soon you're going to be hearing about it. So if you ain't caught one of our limited edition Kells Collective mugs, if you snoozed on it, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if we're going to get any more in. Miss Wall Street in the comments tonight just bought up the last one, sis. Thanks. And so we might do, I think I might do some more mugs, or I might do something different. Yeah. Yes, sis, you got the last mug. So, okay. So being brave in life and love, that's a little bit of background. I'm from South Florida, and this recent school shooting that happened literally happened. It's probably no more than 20-25 minutes drive away from where I live in South Florida. And I'll say this before I jump into being brave in life and love. When I was going to middle school in South Florida, I went to a rough middle school. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the school was called JFK, John F. Kennedy Middle School, whatever. But we used to call it jail for kids. And I was literally terrified to go to this middle school because it had such a horrible reputation. And I had no other choice. My parents were not necessarily in a position to put me in any private school, and that was the middle school that was in our feeder pattern, right? And so I ended up going to JFK, and I was petrified. And never once was I petrified of somebody coming into the school and shooting the school up. Never once. Never once. What I was scared of was somebody beating me up, getting bullied, girls being mean to me, the regular things of, a 11, 12, 13, year old kid. But can you imagine having to go to school nowadays and being terrified that some psychopath domestic terrorist is going to shoot up the school? You know what I mean? That is, as petrified as I was in middle school, I can't imagine going to school nowadays. You know what I mean? And I remember in our school, we had metal detectors. The police would come and do random searches of our classrooms. It was dehumanizing. It was dehumanizing, and our school was a black school. So we knew in our heads that, oh, it's our black school. So we're the ones with the cops always busting through the classroom, talking about random search, random search, random search with dogs, canine dogs. And I never experienced anything like that in my life until I went to that middle school, going through metal detectors, random searches, and things like that. But at that time, and they were like acting like we was about to shoot up the school. And can we see what the pattern is of school shooters? You know what I mean? But I digress. With all that being said, I think it's important for us to talk about bravery. And I think it's important to us to talk about bravery in life and in love. And so I have a few notes here, and I'm going to try to, let you guys know what I feel about it. And I hope that you guys chime in the comments as well. Right? So as you know, when you come in, please let me jump in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, and what you are sipping on. Yes? Yes. Okay. So, being brave. So the first thing I can say about being brave in life and love is that it is indeed a decision that you make. It is a decision that you make to be brave, to still feel the fear of life, of love, of going out every day and facing this crazy, climate and environment that we're in, but still making the decision to hold your head up, hold your chin up, and be as brave as you can. You also, in that same mindset, you also have to be aware and accept the fact that everything in your life is in your hands. Everything in your life is in your hands. It's about a decision that you make, and you have to take accountability for that, regardless of the actions of others, the actions of yourself, or the inaction of others, or the inaction of yourself, right? And so, it's really about the mindset that you come to. Really about the mindset that you take into the world every day. And it is not something that is just a natural, like, oh, I'm brave. It's something that is conditioned. And if you in how you condition your mind to think about things, whether it be, sometimes, tips for that, sometimes, you might say to yourself, well, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Right now, it's like, oh, what's the worst can happen? Somebody could shoot the place up. Yes, but are you going to go around in life and love, um, thinking the worst, being timid, not living your life to the fullest because you're afraid of what may or may not happen? Sometimes on social media and in the news and things like that, we're watching it, and it is just really overwhelming. The amount of negativity, the amount of fear mongering, legitimate or not, the amount of fear of each other, fear of what is seen and unseen that is going on in the world right now, and just domestically here in the U.S., it can be extremely stifling. It can be extremely stifling, and that it bleeds over into every part of our life, right? And what I can say about that is that you can feel that emotion. You can acknowledge that we're all human and we have our good days and our bad days, and that's totally acceptable. Um, I want to do one of these videos talking about therapy, because I think a lot of us are walking around with this kind of post traumatic stress disorder that, from our childhood and from our upbringing and some of the stresses that we go through in everyday life. And we don't really acknowledge it. You know what I mean? We don't really deal with it. We just kind of push it down, 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 down. And we're stressed and we're angry and we're depressed and we're lonely. And we're walking around with this big gaping hole inside of us. And it's because we don't know how, we're not openly dealing with what we need to deal with. You know what I mean? And so it's okay to express that sadness. It's okay to express that fear. It's okay to express that trepidation about life. But is it to reframe it and to think of it in a different way, and to think of it in a more brave way, and to think of it in a way that we are accountable for our life and our actions, and we feel empowered to manage our life in a very deliberate way, to manage our life in a very deliberate way, and not feel that life is running away with us, right? And so some of the questions sometimes when I'm trying to reframe things that I ask myself is, well, what's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? What do I want? What do I truly want out of this circumstance or this situation? And sometimes it takes being silent and being still and being alone to really understand that, and not absorbing so much external stimuli through social media, through TV, just unplugging from all of that and really trying to figure out what my internal self is saying. Not what I'm reading, not somebody else's thoughts about life, not somebody else's opinions about what my life should be, but really what my internal voice is saying to me about what I want. And when I become clear about that, then it helps me be a bit more brave, a bit more confident, a bit more intentional about my life and what I want from it, and feel empowered around that. And it does help me. It does help me. I'm not going to say that it all the time. It does help me be a little bit more brave and more confident in life and love. As I said at the top of this broadcast, I would love for you guys to chime in and let me know what your rituals, what your what you do to make sure to go out and face the world and life and love every day and be confident and be brave about it, and how you're working on keeping that bravery, keeping your chin up, and um, keeping yourself of sound mind, you know what I mean, to go out into this world that can be so terrifying at times, and feel so out of control. Hey, Afua, thanks for joining. Okay. This is a bit of a heavy, can bear with me. Um, uh, Sometimes when we think about figures in the past, Martin Luther, a lot of times we talk to, a lot of times when we hear books or about, they talked about being willing to die for some, they talked about being willing to, and to lay their life on the line for some. And I feel of those figures nowadays, and to, we don't really have those that short, so incredibly that sometimes it's okay, something in life that, or a lot of us are just going through life trying to play it safe, and end at the end of it all, you know, we don't have nothing that, and you know, and sometimes one of the things that for these remind me how to be brave in life, to figures of the past, because I don't currently right now who enough to say this is a cause I'm willing on the line for. And as quiet as though you saying they're going to lay their actions on a day basis dictate what they're laying their life on the line for, what their life is dedicated, your rituals, your how, or you know, or your failures all dictate what you've decided to lay your life on. And so when we talk about being brave in life, I think talking about being brave in love, that we really, really need to put. Here's why I say that. When you're younger, and tell me if you're with me on this, when you're younger, time seems to move super, super slow. Seems to move super slow. You just can't wait to be, you know, a teenager, 13. You just can't wait till you're sweet 16 or you're 15 or you're king. You can't teens, you know, go out and get into clubs. You can't wait to be 21 so you could like drink and do. And then at a point, usually after, by the time you won, time double and triple on you. It just goes so fast. Undergrad, 4 years went past, and I was like, oh my God, like I graduated undergrad. I was in undergrad for 4 years. How could it possibly have been, you know, I'm 4, and time just seems to dump you. And I think that's why it's so important to really, really be live, the wheels fall off, because when you look back at it, if you're so fortunate to live, if you know, if you didn't really do the things that you really wanted, didn't really ask yourself, what do I really want to do, what really makes me, what's really driving me, you know, in my life that I decided to dedicate and that in turn dedicated themselves to me. What legacies did I leave? Who did I mentor? Who did I love so hard that 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 a piece of me is on and on, that they talk about me, that they tell stories, love, generation to generation. You don't, at the end of your life, if you don't live those things, but turn to dust, and that will be it, right? Like some of us don't. I guess it's okay to, to think about mortality and to think about your life and to not want to leave a legacy and not to uh, have made any impact on the world and not poured yourself into anyone deeply. But for me, to a point that I really sure that everything that I made a day, and to me, things that are valuable are things to others, are things that uplift others, are things that make this journey life easy and for others. I think is the greatest parts starts with love. You see no others, if you see no point in pouring into yourself, if you see no value in being, and at least for your little community, or make this journey easy, can you really claim that you have in your heart and in yourself and in um this is a little bit of a, you know a wish, you know weird subject. It's the whole climate and right now has caused me to think about what it means to wake up. What's the point of it? And so, I just want to encourage you to really do what you do every day. Why do you your loved ones the way that you do? Why do you care that you're doing yourself that you do? But your life, whether it be your life, lay on your deathbed, or were you thinking that, well, this I did right. These relationships I did right. These others I did right. I would want to have something can be proud of. Start to approach the end of their life. You know what I mean? Maybe you just I think the whole shooting thing has got me a bit in my feelings. It's gotten me, but I want to speak to you and to hear your guys' thoughts on how we can be brave, how to be brave, and we can live life to the despite the things that are happening around us and still feel empowered, still feel and feel about how we live our lives and how we love. I know sometimes we get into these relationships, right? We have decisions to make in these relationships. So, okay, is this the one to be monogamous that I'm going to call my one and only? Is this the one that I'm going to marry? Is this one worth it? Am I good enough for he or is she good enough for me? And, it can be, sometimes you can find yourself shying away from relationships because you just don't make those kind of decisions. You know what I mean? The guts meant to somebody. You just don't. But I'm gonna very best take this person, stand here for them, and I'm gonna protect them, and I'm with them. It cuts. It's free to do that. You know, what I mean? And you know, really, I can't. It's hard for me to on how to find the guts, how to find nerve to somebody and to choose somebody. Because at the end of the day, you could be choosing and choosing and show somebody better. There's somebody there's somebody, who's going to love me harder, who's going to have more money, who's going to be more handsome, who's going to be more taller. Is that you really looking, and or is that in to somebody? You not settle, or fearful in committing your that rhetorical guys on thinking about content of and life. And really, as here on Kells Collective, dating trials and dating drama, dating and collective wisdom of the community on how ourselves in this sometimes world. I'm sipping on some red wine because after this week, guys, red wine, right? So I'm gonna be early tonight. I definitely need you guys' feedback on what it means to be brave in love. Um, a lot of times comes committing to somebody and being brave enough to open yourself up, um, and to say you're going to live out your days with somebody, or even to start down um, that path. Um, we lost my even to of community. There's a level of nowadays we're deathly afraid of that vulnerable hustle, hustle, grind, grind, grind. You know what I mean? And being a shit ton that you have to power through, that you have to be brave through, that you have to be feeling. You know what I mean? And I for one, like I don't even really know go down that path of vulnerability. The most ask myself, and maybe pose the questions to myself. How can I allow myself to be more? How can I understand that this is what life is about, if not? And if I decide that love is going to be one of the things that I dedicate my life to, because I want to live my life to the full. I think that love is one of the things worthy of living my life for. How do I become brave to open myself up to it? How do I become another person? How do I become brave? I think one of the nervous and trouble about life and love, not only what's going on right now with the shootings and the killings and everything like that, but it's all a little bit perspective of what is. Take go to the movies, or you watch movies, romantic rom-coms, romantic comedies, social media to some extent. It's all very fabricated. It's all the truth. Trying to emulate this kind of picturesque of life and love. And the real thing is scathing, and it's rough, and it's hard, painful. It's not easy by any means. It's not, and it's emotional, and it's ups, and it doesn't always work your best effort. It doesn't always work out despite your. It doesn't mean worthy of that best effort. It doesn't mean effort, right? Because it won't work. There's risk involved. through, because at the end of the day, say is either taking risks, you either make a decision to be in risk, you either make the decision for the, or life will make it for you. Risk that doesn't involve pain, that doesn't involve fear, involve being fied. There is no part of this thing called life that can escape you. You escape all of those risky, scary. And so I think one of the things that I've done is risks, decision to areas of my life. And I'm in career, been okay with education and travel. Don't know if I don't know. And of course, sex or stands, no business dating like, my boss. I think the connection just chipped out for a second. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me talking and ranting and drink my little drink, talking about being brave in life and love, scary as it is? Oh Lord, I don't know if you guys are connected. Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue on, and hopefully you guys can actually. Hopefully you guys can actually hear me on there. I was just reading one of the comments. So, I think I was saying I don't know if I've actually been. Okay, airborne eclipse. It cuts in and out here, but you're back. Thanks. Thank you. So, yeah, I can't necessarily say that I've been particularly brave, but sometimes when you see these things, these shootings and things, at the other side of being scared and petrified and angry, just angry, just angry. That's how I feel. On the other side of that, when I get myself through the anger and the fear, I'm encouraged to be brave. I'm encouraged to live life to the fullest, just in case my life is cut short. I don't want to be, I want to I want to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? And I think the area that I could ride a little harder might be love. I want you guys to jump in the comments. I know this is a little bit of a heavy topic. I would love, love, love for you guys to jump in the comments right now and let me know your thoughts on being brave in love and life. And let's encourage one another. I definitely need you guys' comments tonight because sometimes I draw a blank. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not exactly sure, what it means to be brave in love in the midst of how scary it is. And I can acknowledge that. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge how scary this ish actually is. But to understand at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do, right? Is to power through the fear, is to be extra and epic in the face of it. Because I think when we get old and we're laying on our deathbed, God willing, we're not gonna feel that fear. You know what I mean? We're only gonna think about the things that we should have done without fear. And so that's one of the things that I think about sometimes when I'm trying to power through. And I gotta be honest with you, when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, I don't know if I be powering through like that. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I'm gonna be working on. And I wanted to bring it to you guys in case it's something that you guys find that you want to be working on as well. Shall we jump in the comments? I would love to hear what you guys have to say about how you are practicing or working on or thinking about being more brave when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, when it comes to life. Let's jump in the comments. Also, y'all know the deal. When you come in, announce yourself in the comments, please. Do me that favor. Smash, smash, smash that like button. And make sure your notifications are on so you know when I go live. You know I go live on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Yeah? Yeah, so let's jump in the comments. Let me know what you're sipping on as well. Miss Wall Street in the building. Dalma in the building from Seattle. Drinking ginger tea. Cynthia in the building, New Orleans. Homemade chai. Yes, sis. Homemade chai. All right. Red blend wine from New Orleans. Okay, earlier in the broadcast, if you missed it, we was talking a little bit about Black Panther. Yes, my outfit is laid out. I am ready to see it. I have tickets for tomorrow. I know some of y'all saw it tonight, and some of y'all still waiting. Try to see it opening weekend. Check the IMAX theaters. I'm gonna go see it in IMAX. I definitely want to make sure that they see their numbers this weekend because we need more movies like this. Like we need more movies like this because we need. It helps us. Going back to the topic, helps us to be brave and in all things, you know what I mean? So it's good to see that kind of brave reflection on the silver screen. Tina says, great movie. Madama says, I'm going on a girls trip to Portland tonight. A guy I have a crush on had asked if he can get a ride, but one of the girls said no. No, sis. Why is he riding on a girls trip? He need to find his way there, and then he needs to invite you to dinner while he's there. What he ride? Can he get a ride for what? Is he incapable of arranging his own transportation? No, your friend was right. Miss Wall Street got my last mug. Thanks, sis. Working on some other merch, but if you ain't get your limited edition It's Kells Collective mug, you kind of out of luck because Miss Wall Street just snatched up the last one. DB, hello, Miss Kells. I am firm on the ground back in New York sipping on some Merlot. DB is a pilot, just zipping and doing it, dipping it and doing it in the air all over. Yes, DB. Bridget Denise says hello from San Antonio. Hello, sis. You finally made it live. Afua, hey, hey. Is that the first time someone's pronounced your name correctly? SE from Vegas, baby. Airborne is sipping on some Italian roast from Indy, and my voice is lovely. Thank you. MA in the building, always here. Evening, Kells, looking beautiful. This evening, as always. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you are well. Since our lives last intersected, upstate New York, and warm coconut water and organic honey. I've never tried that. I might have to do that, MA. To be brave with love is, I believe, starting with yourself, finding yourself worthy of anyone regardless of the outcome. Also, dropping the notion that love should be effortless, requiring no hard work. Finding yourself worthy. Finding yourself worthy. MA is always in here dropping gems. He is always in here dropping gems. Hold on, let me get myself situated. Finding yourself worthy. I think that's such an important part of being brave in love. You ever heard of the comment reason, season, lifetime? Is it it? Reason, season, lifetime. People are in your life for a reason, for a season, and for a lifetime. One of my first loves, in every relationship that I've been in that has not worked out, I always try to look at it and find what was the lesson in it, right? And it's not only relationships, but it's also just anything that happens in life that maybe doesn't work out exactly how I want it to work out. And I always try to look at it like, what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to learn from this? And in one of my relationships that I was just madly, in love with this guy, and genuinely, not, just genuinely, I found that he understood me on a level that not a lot of people understood me on. But I knew that it was a relationship that could not work in the real world. We lived in different countries. We were in different age groups. There were just so many hurdles that were not, they were just unovercomable. The hurdles that just couldn't be overcome. You know what I mean? But it didn't change the fact that I was madly in love with this man. And I genuinely felt that he was madly in love with me. You could just tell our souls had connected. And I don't know if you believe in past lifetimes. I don't know what you believe in. I don't even know if I believe in past lives. But I believe that there was a connection, a divine connection with this particular soul that this man had. And in that relationship, I learned that you could be madly head over heels in love with somebody and not be with them, not be in a marriage or committed relationship with them. But that not being in a marriage or not being in a committed relationship with them did not change the fact that you loved them with every fiber of your being. It did not change the fact. And I think sometimes TV or culture or society just make it seem like if you're in love with somebody, then you must be with them. You must be with them forever, for 50 years, married to them, and all of that. And that's just not the truth of it. The truth of it is that sometimes people come into your life for a season or a reason or a lifetime. A season, a reason, or a lifetime. And love is not something that fits into a specific box. You know what I mean? It's not something that fits into a specific box. So when MA talks about, understanding that love takes work and feeling worthy of it, it just reminded me of that situation of like, everything is not cut and dry. Everything is not, as, black and white as we make it seem. There's a lot of gray. There's a ton of gray in this thing called love. And at the end of the day, feeling worthy of it, giving and receiving is one of the first steps in being brave. I agree with you, MA, on that. I agree with you on that. And the second is understanding that everything is not black and white, especially as it pertains to matters of the heart. But it doesn't make it any less worthy. It doesn't make it any less, knowing that things might not work out. Doesn't mean that you should not make yourself experience it. Because at the end of the day, like, aren't we here for the experiences? Aren't we souls in this human body here to experience this human experience? At this this extremely limited time on this planet, experiencing this. And love, I think, is one of the greatest, love and pleasure is one of the greatest experiences we can have as a human. So we have to be brave in taking that gift of experiencing love, as freaking scary as it freaking is, and feeling worthy of that. I agree with you, MA. What else? How do we be brave in love? How do we be brave in life? Finding yourself worthy. I really want to talk about that a little bit more, because I find that a lot of us are walking around not feeling whole, not being whole within ourselves, but trying to find a relationship to fill a black hole that's within us. And you are never going to find an external person, an external thing, an external circumstance that is going to fill a black hole that's within you. You have to feel worthy. You have to feel whole first if you want a successful love life, successful relationship. You have to work on yourself. And it is a continual journey of being by your damn self. and being quiet without cable and without phone and without external distractions, and meditating and thinking and reading and learning yourself to be able to make yourself feel whole, to be able to make yourself feel worthy, to fill yourself up so much to the point that you're overflowing with this joy and this happiness and this confidence and security that you can then pour into somebody else in the form of a relationship, in form of love. You don't have to be, yes, sometimes you get into relationships and they fill you up as well. But you can't come in so in the deficit, so in the black hole, thinking that somebody else is going to completely fill you up, completely bleed into you and slit their wrists for the fulfillment of you. That's selfish, right? So on some level, you have to be 3/4 of the way there. You have to find a way to get yourself to that place of being worthy, that place of being whole, that place of generating joy within yourself, that place of generating happiness and confidence and worthiness within yourself, to be able to bring somebody else into your life. How selfish is it to bring somebody else into your life, to be in a relationship with somebody else, knowing that you're in a dark place and that you're bringing them into the depths with you because you're hoping that they'll slit their wrists to bleed into you? How selfish of you is that? If you know you're in a dark place, if you know you don't feel worthy of love, if you know you don't know yourself, if you don't know anything about love and how to be in a relationship and how to love and how to give of yourself and how to serve somebody else, how dare you try to bring somebody into those depths of darkness with you? How dare you? It's selfish. It's selfish. And so I think a lot of people are thinking the opposite of it. They're not thinking of it in that way. They're thinking, oh, I want to find somebody. I need somebody to help me be brave. I need somebody to help me love. I need somebody to, hold me at night because I'm scared. I need somebody to, help me pay these bills. I need somebody to help me. Yes, that's what a companion is. That's what a partner is. Synergy, that's what synergy is, But, make sure that you're on the right level of it, and make sure that you're not only there to leech, but you're also there to give. And I don't know if we're thinking about the giving part of it. We're thinking a lot about what I can get from it. Yeah. And, maybe bravery is about knowing thyself, being brave enough to take the time in your singleness to learn thyself, to know thyself, to know how you tick, to know when you get empty and how to fill yourself up, to know how to be quiet, to know how to be still, to know how to be in the company of oneself and be comfortable with that. Because truly, if you can't be in the company of yourself, why would anybody else want to be in their company? If you cannot be in the company of yourself comfortably, why would anybody else want to be in your company? To use you, potentially. So, anyway, let's jump back into the comments. I'm totally going off in la la land tonight, but bear with me. Let's see what you guys are saying about life, love, and bravery. Miss Wall Street said, none of us ever know, talking about relationships she's talking about. Even if you know someone, they can change in time. You just have to get to know what somebody's values are. See that they are the type of person who commits to those values. Right. And relationships don't have to last forever. Sometimes there's multiple experiences. Imagine being in a job forever. That's unheard of, right? So is it unheard of to be in a relationship forever? You know what I mean? Sometimes a good 10-year run is successful. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of times guys are so fearful of being in relationships with women because they'll quote the statistic that, oh, women initiate 99% of the divorces. And, I don't want to be divorced, so I don't want to get married. And I'm going to be a man going my own way. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to deny myself love, deny myself intimacy. They don't ever say it this way, but what they say is, excuse me, what they say is that, I don't want to be in a relationship. I'll be by myself. I go this alone. You're going to deny yourself love, the greatest gift that is life. You're going to deny yourself intimacy. You're going to deny yourself tenderness. You're going to deny yourself peeling back layers of yourself to reveal yourself to yourself through love. You're going to deny yourself that human experience of love because you're afraid of its failure, because you're afraid to be brave, because you're not of the understanding that because something doesn't last forever doesn't mean that it wasn't successful. You're going to deny yourself that because you're afraid to feel the emotion of the heights of joy that love can bring you and the depths of darkness, of despair that love can bring you as well. The highs and the lows, is that not what life is about in itself? What would it mean to go through life in this emotionless state? Isn't that the definition of depression? All of these questions, I kind of throw out there to get you guys thinking about, to get you guys and to get myself thinking about what it means to be brave and to chin up and to go and love hard, especially in the limited time that we have on this earth, that some crazed psychopath can snatch from us at any moment. All the more reason, right, to go out and to love hard and to love fast and to experience everything that we can get, to squeeze every drop of life that we can get out of life in the limited time that we have here. Just rhetorical questions that I'm throwing out for you guys tonight. I'm all in my feelings. As you can tell, I'm drinking on some red wine because, the state of things right now with all of these shootings and things really got me in my feelings and really got me thinking about how to be more brave in experiencing life to the fullest. And for me, experiencing life to the fullest is about this love and this relationships and these pouring into others and having others pour into me intimately. That's really what life is all about. And that's why I do these videos. I could be doing some beauty videos. I could be doing some hair videos. I could be doing some makeup videos and some clothes videos. But I choose to do videos about dating, love, relationships, travel, lifestyle, because I think those are the things that make life life. And I think those are the things that when I am laying on my deathbed as an old lady and I could think back on my life, I think back of the traveling, the sights that I saw, the people that I met, that I talked to, the lovers that I had and have, the people that have loved me, the people that carry me, the thought of me in their hearts and in their minds on, even after I've passed. To me, that's valuable. Not to everyone, but to me, that's valuable. And that's why I do these videos. And that's why I talk about relationships. And that's why I talk about love. And that's why I talk to you guys about being supportive of one another as we go through this crazy dating, love, life world. Let's jump back in the comments. All right. Linda Morena, hey girl. Everyone says, for me, it depends on the subject. Years in combat was one thing. Emotional danger from being vulnerable over an open heart with another is very different. So I think you were talking about like post-traumatic stress. So what I was talking about was like, I wasn't talking about like military service in that sense, but I was talking about things like the killing of unarmed black men, the school shootings, the political climate that we're in, the emotional state of upheaval, the hyper emotional state that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis, just being who we are in this world, in this country, in this climate, and having to grow up through this and not fully dealing with the psychological implications of being in such a pressurized, dangerous, scary world, and how it doesn't take military battle. It doesn't take shooting overseas and being in war to have post-traumatic stress. And we might need to talk about it collectively. We might need to speak to a therapist. We might need to deal with mental issues, because obviously mental issues are at play with half of the stuff that we deal with, on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not using it as an excuse, because as you guys well aware, when certain people do certain crazy things, they're just thugs and Neanderthal and beneath. And when certain other people do things, oh, they're mentally challenged and have gone through a hard life. So I'm not using that as an excuse, but I'm saying that, a part of being brave is acknowledging when you need help in keeping it all together. Being brave in knowing yourself, knowing your weaknesses, and knowing when you need to ask for help and ask for support, and let somebody know how you're feeling, and let somebody know that you are at, you've at your wit's end, or you've hit rock bottom and you need their support, you need their help to get up, to stand up again, because you've been trying to do it and it's not working. There's bravery in speaking your truth and saying you need help. Just as there's bravery in life and there's bravery in love, there's bravery in saying, I need help. I need help. Can't do it alone, been trying to do it. And, I'm at my wit's end. So that's what I meant by that. DMA is talking about risking your heart again and being brave enough to continue to risk your heart, even though you don't come out of this love game or this life game unscathed. You always come out with nicks and bruises and cuts. Have you really lived if you ain't come out with no nicks and bruises and cuts? You know what I mean? You've played it too safe. So just as though when you're riding a bike and you fall off and you bust your ass, and you get back on because you don't want to be the one who don't know how to ride a bike. You don't want to be the one that let the bike defeat you. It's the same thing with life and love, no? You don't want to be the one who didn't come out with love. You don't want to be the one who let love whoop your ass. You know what I mean? So can that be an analogy? Can we talk? Can we make an analogy? Can we make a metaphor of that? Like being brave enough to get back up when you're a baby and you're trying to learn to walk. How many times do you spread out, sprawl out, scratch up yourself, hurt yourself, twist this, twist that? But what do? You get back up and you keep going. Same metaphor, same simile, same comparison can be made with love. No? These are legitimate questions. This is not me preaching tonight. This is me legitimately asking questions. Because as I said at the top of the broadcast, being brave in love is not necessarily my forte, but I felt that we really needed to talk about this tonight, just with the state of things. Brave. How to get back up, how to face the world, how to not let some coward terrorist, whether it be a man or whether it be your own mind, or whether it be a negative situation or circumstance, scare you away from being deliberate in your own life. How to be deliberate in your own life. How to deliberately go after what you want. How to deliberately take risks in your life. How deliberately reap the reward of those risks. How to deliberately reap the reward of those risks. And how to understand that if you don't deliberately specify the risks that you're taking in life, understand that life will specify them risks for you. Life will whoop your ass if you don't do the risks, if you don't put the energy and the work into going after what you want. You think you can coast? Ain't no coasting, bruh. This life thing ain't no joke. You know what I mean? It's not a joke. So you either have to go after it with bravery and fervor and life and love and say, you know what? I want to love. I want that experience. I want that experience in my limited time on earth. You know what I mean? Or not. But for me, I am coaching myself up to be more brave, because I understand that we're mortal. And at the end of all of this, that is an experience that I definitely want to say I rode the hell out of. All right. All right, one more spin in the comments. I'm not going to go too long tonight, guys, because it's Friday night. I got a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow. And yes, I'm going to see Black Panther, and my outfit is laid out. And I hope y'all got your tickets, and I hope y'all got your outfits, because we was not playing. You know, we're extra, and we're definitely going to the theater, all kente cloth out. And might I say, do not buy your kente cloth from no Target or no Walmart or no, you know, dollar store or anything like that with that Chinese kente cloth. Get you some authentic kente cloth from the African or the Caribbean side of town. You know, keep the dollars in the community. You know what I mean? All right, last go round in the comments about being brave in life and love. I need you guys to tell me how to do this. And then we're going to jump for the evening. Yes. Yes. George Thompson says, love is the only power in the universe. Santhia says, yes. Airborne Eclipse says, I've found that women and men are often both amazingly brave, but in very different ways. Please tell me more about that. I think that's a profound statement, and I would love to hear more about that. How are women and men brave, but in profoundly different ways? Airborne Eclipse, let me know. M.A. Maceo says, for me it was being able to see the women in my life as deeply connected to me and completely separate from me. It required me to be attached and unattached to accept their autonomy. I don't know what you mean by that. Tell me more. Kells, was the man you're speaking about an older guy? I can still feel your emptiness. I felt it before, so I know it when it comes again, and still I want it. Primed for it always. No, it was a younger guy. And I don't feel empty about it. I actually feel so happy to have come to that realization that you could love deeply and not spend the rest of your life with somebody. I can say that it would be nice to have that same feeling with somebody that I ultimately do spend the rest of my life with, but I don't know if that's realistic. I think it comes back to being conditioned to think that you must marry and be clink 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 locked to the person that makes you feel the most seen and the most loved and the most recognized. And in life, it's not always about that. It's about survival. It's about more than that. You know what I mean? It's about who's fitting to go through this life and survive with you and to make offspring with. I could be in love with somebody who's just totally unfit for life, but make me feel the most seen. So I don't feel empty, MA. I don't feel empty about it. I feel happy that I've experienced that and looking forward to experiencing it again. But I don't feel empty because I'm not married to it. Like physically married to the person that made me feel that. I'm okay not being married to them. I'm just happy that I had that experience. Vito, hey. Vito thinking out loud. Thanks for joining, guy. Miss Walsh says 2018 is going to be an amazing year full of blessings and love. I think so. I was so happy today. Like when I tell you I was so super duper happy today, because I just feel like 2018, despite what's going on, I just personally feel really, really good about 2018. And I feel really strong, and I feel emotional, you know what I mean? But I feel really strong and really good about 2018, and I hope you guys are feeling good. And if you're not, figure it out. Figure it out. You have to take accountability for your life. And I think a lot of us like to displace that accountability on other people and other things and other circumstances. But at the end of the day, you have to be accountable for it. Your happiness, your joy, your love, your life. And I'm claiming it. 2018 is lit. MA says, I learned that the difference between me and the women I adore was an opportunity for growth and not a threat to be swallowed up by her. Like the moon and the stars, we can coexist in mutually loving tolerance. Like the moon and the stars. I learned to not always need the sharp line of black and white, rather how to accept the beautiful shades of gray and charcoal, lol. You can overpower people in your life, and it isn't always a good thing to do. That's true. That's true. I think those of us with very dynamic personalities feel that or sense that. If you're an empath or intuitive empath, but you have a dynamic personality, you can always sense when you're kind of overshadowing, overpowering someone. But sometimes it's a little bit hard because then you're asked to shrink yourself to accommodate somebody else's um, feelings or emotions. And that can be challenging in itself. So, yeah, be cognizant of that and allow other people to shine. I would agree, particularly in intimate relationships and knowing when to shut the heck up. um, but it can kind of be hard when somebody asks you to shrink, asks you to, or you ask yourself to shrink yourself. But it's also good, I guess, to be aware that to listen, to have the skill of listening, and to allow other people to express themselves and allow other people to be seen by you. And to not always be thinking about the next thing to say, but to genuinely listen and to be interested and to be curious in others. And I think that's a big part of relationships. I saw an email in the Kells Collective Gmail box that I think was talking about, and I glimpsed it because I don't read those emails, but because I want to keep the commentary fresh and candid. But she was talking about how to date. Yeah, dating 101 or something like that. And I think one of the most important things about dating is a genuine curiosity about people, a genuine love for people, a genuine adoration and respect for people. And I think if you go into dating and relationships with that, people can sense it, people feel seen by you, people feel listened to, people feel acknowledged by you. And that's one of the things that most people really, really, really are dying to feel and are so attracted to, when somebody makes them feel seen, when somebody makes them feel special, when somebody makes them feel heard, when somebody makes them feel worthy of their undivided attention. Comments, last go round. Speak now or forever hold your peace. We're talking about how to be brave, in life and love. The greatest love of all, George. I hear you. Was the connection cutting out this whole time? I cannot believe that. Like, I really hope the connection wasn't doing the most tonight. Ugh. Everyone, the contrast of male bravery with danger or combat versus all my following years with women in hospital nursing standing fearless where most men couldn't cope. Okay, so earlier, not DB, excuse me, Airborne was talking about the contrast between the bravery of men and women. And so he's just clarified for me that the bravery of men from his experience being in combat versus the bravery of women being in the nurse's room dealing with the I guess the sick and injured. I totally understand that. I think it's about facing emotion. I think it's about design. And as you guys know, talk about femininity and masculinity a lot on this channel. I talk about yin and yang and the balance of the two. And I totally get that. I totally get that women could be are bred and I think are slightly more innately capable of dealing with the ups and downs of emotions. And men are more hardwired to be out facing the world and doing the more active combat things. Now, this is not true for everyone. So we have our strength, each individual has our strengths and our weaknesses. But I think there's some truth to what you've said, Airborne, that we bring different strengths to the table. And that's why sometimes when I talk about relationships on this channel, I talk about making room for the other. Women, making room for your man to be brave, for your date to be brave, for him to be a provider and a protector for you, because on some level that's what he's hardwired to do. And women, for us to be receivers, for us to be feminine, for us to be, you know, to bring that softness to the relationship that you don't get elsewhere. So just making sure that you're providing your value in the area that you're better hardwired to. I don't know. Does that make sense? I think that kind of makes sense. Let me know. Okay, last go round in the comments, and then we're gonna jump for the evening. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Let me know what you think about being brave in life and love. DB and MA are having a total bromance up in the comments. I love it. I love it. George says the Western concept of love is physical and emotional, but the reality of love is so much different. It's a connectedness, it's a divine connectedness to self and to others. So I so agree with that. And there's a lot of depth to it, you know what I mean? And sometimes I'm a little bit timid talking about the in-depth things. I sometimes I'm a little timid talking about the depth things because it can be off-putting to those, because it could be like, oh, hippy dippy talking, going overhead, intellectual, you know, doing the most and all of that. But tonight I felt like I had to go a little bit deeper with what we were talking about tonight. Oops, sorry guys. I just felt like I had to go a little bit deeper with what we're talking about tonight, because of the state of what's going on in the world. And I wanted to come on and encourage you guys to be brave in life, to be brave in love, and to not only encourage you guys, but to encourage myself. And it was really, really encouraging to read some of you guys' ideas and thoughts and concepts around how to be brave in this kind of crazy world. I do these videos so you know you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy dating world. If this is your first time here, I would love to have you subscribe and put your notifications on. And if you're a returning viewer like MA, like DB, like Airborne Eclipse, like Miss Wall Street, like Linda Morena, then good looking out. Thank you guys so much for joining. Leave your comments, questions below. This video about to go live, so if you have anything else to say, you can leave it in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Thank you guys for riding with me tonight. It was a little bit crazy. It was a little bit, you know, wishy-washy, I feel like, because it was just, there's just so much going on in the world right now that sometimes it's hard to even just wrap my thoughts around it in a kind of articulate way. But good looking out, braving it with me. And yeah, you guys know what to do. It's kelscollective at gmail.com. And yeah, have a good night, guys. Happy Friday. And let me know the next time I go live how the Black Panther is. I'm going to see it tomorrow. So you guys make sure you get your tickets. Yeah? Yes. Bye, MA. Bye, DB. Good night, guys.